Hello everyone, today I'm working on these two Kato SDP40F and they're in real good shape. I sold my beloved PA1, so I was looking for some more engines in the Amtrak Phase 1 scheme. This is gonna pull my El Capitan 10 car set. So these, they are used, but they are in really good shape. All the handrails are there, the horn is there, and the couplers are there. They are the Kato ones, but they suit me well. Anyways, it's gonna pull a Kato passenger train, so everything works together well. I saw a really nice video the other day on the history of these. They got nice detail though, I'm gonna have to admit that. They even took the time to put a little bit of silver paint on the windshield wipers. So that is very cool. So there's two videos I saw on these that I liked. One video explaining the history of them. Basically, they would have a tendency to derail. Probably they thought it's because of the two water tanks, or the big water tank that was there. So they sold them to the Santa Fe and they used them for freight. And Santa Fe removed the water tank and they stopped derailing. The cool video on these I saw is a video from Kato. They show how to remove the shell. So it's the same mechanism as SD40, especially the snout ones. So to remove the shell, first you have to remove this handrail here. Very important because you do not want to break it. So just go easy on that, but just move it out of the way. And then the same for the other side. And then there's two hooks under here, just like the E8s and the F units. So one of them's done. Let's see if I can get the second one. Sometimes you might need some help from some toothpicks. If you need that, that's okay. I got my toothpicks handy here. They sure put some nice detail on these. Okay, so my back part is loose, and I'm gonna come to work on the front part. Very good. The front part's coming loose. I'm taking my time because it's a beautiful model. I certainly don't want to mess it up. As you can see, there's a nice builder's plate there, right where I'm prying. That is some pretty cool stuff. You have to pry between the frame detail and the shell. It's pretty stiff. I just needed to take a better look. So then the shell just pops off. Now these are in decent shape, although I am gonna re-clean everything. And you can see here, there's your circuit board. So you could swap the circuit board out to make it DCC, which I'm not going to do today, but it's nice to know that when I'm ready to do it, it's gonna be pretty easy. Now you have these detail parts up front that hold the couplers, so I'm gonna see about removing them. It's actually not too bad. So these are the hooks that hold your shell on, and these hold the couplers together. So just push them very gently. It has the couplers and the pilot beam, and it's got a little bit of that walkway. Years ago, Lima, they did the SDP40F like this, which looks kind of cool. I never bought one. Those Lima, they have pancake motors. They run okay. I'm not a super big fan of them, but they run okay. And then I think we can get this underframe detail here to be removed. Okay, we're going to remove the fuel tank first. So just loosen up these two pins. Don't pull on it too hard. Just loosen them up so you can gain just a little bit of slack. That's the secret. And then this will release the fuel tank. There's a little arrow here, and there's another here indicating the front. Same for the fuel tank. It's got an arrow. So you just line up all the arrows together. And then this, you cannot remove it from the bottom. You have to remove it from the top. So you just have to wiggle it around everything. I'm going to see how far I can get from the back end. Basically, you have to go around everything. And it's pretty malleable, so you can really get it on there, up and over. That's actually not too hard. So get that part up and over, then you can get the front part, and that's your underframe detail. That's going to get clean. You can see your contact strips, and the frame detail was holding the trucks together, and just like an SD40. And they have an arrow, so if you don't remember which direction they go, it's easy to remember, easy to find it back. And then there's no screws holding this together, no glue and no screws. So I guess we'll remove the board, and then I can remove this plastic, and then I can take my two frame halves apart. There's a little retainer clip up on here, just like your E8s and F3s, and the FE-F3 even has this clip. So that's kind of cool. So be careful, they have a tendency to fly off. Maybe I put my finger over that, and then slide the circuit board back just a little bit. Wiggle it back, and that will remove it. Then you can bring that up to the side, and then this plastic, I guess you could call it a circuit board holder. Then you can spread out your locomotive. Let's take a look inside. So it's really beautiful, looks really clean. I'm gonna put just a drop of lubrication just to say that I did something. I don't even think it needs it, but since I have it here, may as well. And 4 drops, that's all you need. It's the same thing for the wheels. I don't think they need any cleaning, but since I have it in my hands, I'm still gonna do it. I'm going to rewash everything that's plastic, including the shell. That will give it time to dry out while I'm working on the wheels. Oh, and the previous owner removed the snow plow. I don't really know why, but that's gonna get clean too. And I have my little baggie down here with the coupler pins, should I decide to put it on. I am missing that little gray fuel tank thingy that helps hold the engine up. I don't really need it that much, but I still would have liked to have it. That's not the end of the world. As long as the engine runs good, we're going to be having some fun. So I'm going to be working on my wheels. They actually look to be very clean, but I'm still going to clean them because I like to have them perfect. So yeah, it's exactly like the SD40. You know what? I ordered mistakenly a couple of trucks like this, and so if I ever find on eBay an SD40 that's missing or broken trucks, like people pulled on them and broke these pins here, I've got a couple of extra ones. But it's nice to know even the SDP40F that I can get, I can repair them if I need to. I have the extra parts. Actually pretty tough to get in there and spread them apart, but I know I can do it. Yeah, it's surprisingly good that they're in there. The wheels are interchangeable, so you don't have to memorize the place they were at. And then the side frames and the gearbox I can clean. And then I'll clean the wheels also with my toothbrush and some soap. And I'll also use my rag. I use my rag on the flanges just to make sure that everything's 100%. And since I have the wheels in my hand, I may as well check to see if they're engaged properly. My trusty Microtrains wheel gauge. It's old enough that it says KD on it, but nothing's changed. So this is actually perfect. This actually works out really great. Exactly like I want them. So no need to do any work on that. Now I'm ready to put everything back together. There's no particular order to the wheels. I like to start by the middle, I think. There are manufacturers out there that make better detailed engines. Although this came with a lot of detail that I'm not used to, like they have the brake lines here. So a decent amount of detail. I mean, they don't have the photo etched grills on the shelf, but they still get in there and make some, you can still see the fans. So this is all right. When you put back your contact strips, there's two pins that hold them together. And then as you can see, they are not the same. They are not, they each have their sides, so you can't interchange them. The pickup here for the other contact strip is close to the gear tower. Make sure you have the ends of the axles in their proper place. We are going to test this in 2 seconds. So I will roll them with my fingers as I build it. And then when I put the side frames back, it will line everything back perfectly. Then you can check them again. Make sure that you're 100% happy, that there's no rolling resistance whatsoever. And then I'll be working on the other side off camera. Now that everything's clean, I can start putting everything back together. So this is a heavy frame. For now, my contact strips haven't fallen out, so that's good. They can stay there. They don't really need to be cleaned. And I can bring everything as it was before. So these will just pop into place. Yeah, that looks good. There's quite a bit of light piping under here to control all your lights. So that's cool. Bring back the light board. That looks about right. Actually, I'm going to try the other way. See what that looks like. Nope, it's got to go this way. So you put it forwards and down a little bit at the same time. Then that falls right into place. And then I'm going to bring in the two trucks. So there's an arrow here. This arrow indicates the front of the engine, but on the two trucks it indicates the direction it's going. So this will just pop in there. Use gravity as your friend. It's also a good time to look at if your contact strips are in the right spot, because we're going to bring in the fuel tank and the fuel tank holds them in place. So this we brought in from the top, so we'll be doing that again. Actually not hard at all to put back. Then it just snap into its two little hooks. I'm going to bring in my screwdriver if I need to, but it looks like it's going to be easy with just my hands. I feel like it's got to go up a little bit, but no, that looks good. And then the fuel tank, remember that this is the front. The front has these filler holes. And if you forget, there's an arrow. It should just pop right in there. double check your contact strips again just to be sure. And then I can put the front and the rear pilot. I almost forgot the little retainer for the contact strips. Wasn't too hard to put back. And then I'll bring the rear steps. Not hard to put in at all. And then the front steps with my snowplow. That's the same, goes right to the front. It wants to go in there, it just doesn't know it yet. I might not be at the correct height for this. That's kind of a nice detail piece, so I want to take my time just to be sure. So before I put this, before I put my shell back on, I'm going to want to try this on the track. I ran into a little snag with these. Usually they're whisper quiet. I don't know if you can hear the gears making noise. So I know I can do better. So usually they're whisper quiet. So I did a lot of trial and error. I had a set of brand new trucks like this. So I tried different things. I think I found the problem. So basically, the truck is sitting too close to the worm gear. And that's where I'm getting noise. So this tiny little pin here is where the truck rides on the frame. So I could shim here, or I could shim on the frame. So I've decided to use Scotch tape. You don't need a lot, you just need about this much. I'm gonna put 3 thicknesses together. So I put my Scotch tape about 3 thicknesses together. Now it's whisper quiet, exactly like you would expect a Kato engine to be. I'm gonna do the exact same process on the other one. Now I can put my 2 shelves back on. Well, that was a dramatic change. I'm glad I looked into it, into why they were making noise. That makes all the difference. Perfect. I won't forget to put the little handrails back on, don't worry. And now it's time to run some trains. Just listen to that. Do you find you were having some similar problems with your engines, specifically SDP40Fs? Put that down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.